Get that fucking trash out of your life. You have legacies to build. We grew that business from 3.4 million to 17.1. Horsepower, not horse shit. You want to be the parent that's an ally. They don't need another fucking friend. Not everybody's cup of whiskey. Toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. Be relentless. Earlier this week, Fox newsman Tucker Carlson was surprisingly fired. There's been a lot of unbiased and biased opinion about what happened, and I don't think anybody really knows for sure. Tucker took on Big Pharma through the years. He took on the White House. He took on social media. He took on the Bidens. He took on the Trumps. He took on all comers. And regardless of what you think of a guy like Tucker Carlson, I personally really enjoyed his program. Personally, I have great respect for those truth tellers, those rare as hen's teeth truth tellers in our world. And he was a hell of a showman. He is a hell of a showman. So he said the things that most other talking heads didn't have the guts to say. He would tackle the stories that the majority of the other talking heads didn't have the balls to attack. So I personally like Tucker Carlson. I understand that he'll land on his feet quickly after he takes a break. He's like an NHL or an NFL coach. When they get fired, they take a short break, they catch their breath, they spend a little bit of time with their family, they heal their wounds for a while, and then they consider their options, which are many if they're good at what they do. So, you know, Tucker Carlson, Fox needed Tucker Carlson more than Tucker Carlson needed Fox. The one thing, I don't deal in fantasy as based as reality. We don't really know what went on. We don't know what the Murdoch family was thinking. They're not going to tell you the truth. We don't know whether Carlson knew this was happening. We don't know what kind of a guy he was behind the scenes. You just don't know the absolute truth. So I refuse in my life and in my business to ever deal fantasy sold as reality. I only base everything on Napoleon Hill's accurate thinking. So clearly we don't know exactly what happened, and it doesn't really matter what happened. This is the entertainment business. You know, Tucker Carlson was never in the news business. He's in the show business. He's in the entertainment business. He's in the offend business. He's in a lot of things, but he's not in the news business, and that's why he's so successful. Howard Stern is not in the radio business. Rush Limbaugh was never in the radio business. Dr. Phil is not in the therapy business. Dr. Oz is not in the medicine business. Henry Ford was never in the car Model T Ford business. And you can just go on and on. Elon Musk is not really, good morning, is not really in the car business. He's in the sending rocket ships to Mars business. He's in the P.T. Barnum business. So with this said, I think I'm going to tell you something that you're never going to hear anywhere else about this whole thing. Everybody's talking about why it happened, what Carlson was like to work for. You know, the Murdochs, and they were influenced by China, all this other stuff that goes on, and none of it matters, and nobody knows what they're really talking about. What I learned from this and was reminded is that you need, as a business owner, to own your own media, period. And what I mean by own your own media is you need to move your audience off of medias like television, like radio, like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any and all of those platforms. Those platforms are owned by big technology. They're owned by television stations, conglomerates. They're not owned by you. In other words, you don't own your media. If you're using those forms of advertising, you can get caught up in the belief that, oh my goodness, I have 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Well, those 2,000 subscribers, they're not your subscribers. You can be removed instantly. You can be canceled instantly. You can be deplatformed instantly. You can wake up one morning and you're no longer on Facebook. You can wake up one morning and you're no longer on YouTube or Twitter or any of these other platforms. You can be deplatformed and canceled for almost anything. It could be your political view. It could be something you say about business. It could be something you say about family or capitalism. It could be any of your opinions or any of your writings. And the next thing you wake up and all of a sudden, good morning, you don't have what you thought was your client and prospect list. You don't own your those platforms. You don't own the media. It's free because you are actually the product. You've heard that quote many times. If it's free, if there's nothing that you're paying for, you're the product. You're the product of Facebook. You're the product of YouTube. We create content, we post it, we surrender our privacy. We are the product. So I was taught years ago, thankfully, to use these different medias that are owned by other people and to use them to attract prospects and clients and move them off of those platforms into your world where you own the media. I just gave you a multi-million-dollar pro tip. I see all these big influencers on Facebook, entrepreneurs that are influencers on Facebook and YouTube. And I laugh because in an instant they can wake up and their millions of followers can instantly be gone. Facebook can turn them off tomorrow. YouTube can banish them tomorrow. You've seen it with, President Trump. You've seen it with Andrew Tate. You've seen it now with Tucker Carlson. He was just canceled. Carlson it doesn't matter why or how, he was simply deplatformed and canceled. Tucker Carlson didn't own Fox News. The Murdoch family owns Fox News. And, Tucker Carlson works for the man. He works, in this case, for the Murdoch family. And no matter why it happened, it just shows you can wake up on a Monday morning like Carlson and all of a sudden, your chair at the table has been removed. And all of a sudden, you no longer have your platform. Well, compare that to what I teach and what I prescribe to my entrepreneurs. I talk about building your own lists. In business, you need to be a list builder. And you need to build lists, especially in 2023, that are protected from being canceled. They're protected from the deplatforming mob. They're protected from the woke society. And look what I do in all of my businesses. I've been yammering on about this for a week, about how I believe your number one, number two, and number three marketing priority right now should be building an email list and emailing it. If you don't have a list, start one. If you do have a list, start emailing it. Once a week, twice a week, 52 times a year minimum. Starting an email list and emailing that list. That's your number one, number two, and number three priority in marketing. not your newsletter, not physical mail, not flyers, not postcards, not social media videos, not posts, not twits and tweets. Starting an email, gradually building an email list and emailing it now, starting now. So what does this accomplish for you? If you use the correct software, good morning, that I recommend, and you don't have anything to do with Google or big tech. In other words, your software, you use the software that our company uses. It's a software designed by two private entrepreneurs who have zero connection to big tech. So we moved to this software for our email a year ago, and we've never looked back. We have better delivery rates. We have better results in terms of spam folders and promotional folders. And the big thing is we can speak the truth. I can talk about big tech. I can talk about anti-social media. I can talk about vomit politics. I can talk about a Tucker Carlson. I can talk about Russia. I can talk about global cooling. I can talk about global warming. I can talk about family. I can talk about our blessed military. So because I've built my own list. I built my own list off of those platforms. So as an example, in the insurance business, I built a list of emails, up to 63,000 active emails. I own that asset. See, I own that asset. I back that asset up every day on our computer, and I own that asset. I own those names and I own those emails. No matter what was happening in my business, I could sit down for 5 or 10 minutes, write a plain text email, press send, and make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over the next couple days. There would be requests for quotes, there would be referrals, there would be upsell opportunities, it would build goodwill, engagement, and at the end of the day, it would put tens of thousands of dollars in my pocket every week, just because I own my own email list. It's also important that you start building your physical mailing list, complete addresses of every prospect and client. And also we build I'm building, believe it or not, a fax list. If I don't have your fax, please reply to this email and send me your fax number. I have a complimentary free fax that I send every week. If you'd like to be on my $1 million marketing fax list, send your fax, reply to this email with your fax number. So look what I'm building. I'm building my business always on concrete. I'm building my business on concrete pillars. I'm building it on email. I'm building it on physical mail. I'm building it on fax. I'm building it on concrete pillars. Do you notice how most of them are offline as well? They're away from social media. They're away from big technology. They're away from forums that I don't own. I'm not building my business on YouTube. I'm not building my business on Facebook. I'm not building my business on Twitter, because those things are building your business on quicksand. Those are literally quicksand. And also your email list, if you don't have the right software, we used to have, Gmail, Constant Contact, Aweber, all these Google-based or big technology-based email platforms. Well, I've had many clients who have woken up one morning and their entire email base is gone. They've been canceled. In other words, they might have a list of 2,000 clients and prospects, and for no reason whatsoever, they can wake up on a day and those contacts are all gone, all 2,000 gone, vanished, and there's nothing they can do about it. So when I heard enough of these horror stories of their entire email lists being canceled, being deplatformed, that's when we made the move to the software that we use. We got away from big tech and we deal with two guys that we know and are private entrepreneurs like you and me. They have no connection whatsoever to big technology. So we back up our email every day, and it's an asset. We're building our asset. We do the same with our physical addresses. We do the same with our fax list. I have a fax list of hundreds of entrepreneurs. I have a mailing list of thousands and thousands and thousands of elite businessmen. And we now have an email list of thousands and thousands and thousands of elite driven and generous business men and entrepreneurs like you. So I'm ready to go to war at any point. So what? So what? I don't depend on Facebook. So what if Facebook cancels me? Doesn't affect my life at all. I use them commercially for some ads, but that's it. But it's not something I'm building my business on. So what if I get banned from YouTube? I'm being censored on YouTube for what I talk about. So what if I get banned or censored or canceled? Doesn't change my life at all. Same thing on Twitter, same thing wherever. It doesn't really matter because I'm not counting on those platforms that I do not own. What do I own? What do I control? Number one, I control my email list. It's not going anywhere. I have a platform that is on a non-big tech software. I have my mailing list. I own my mailing list. I have my fax list. Now, when you think about it, if the China virus happened again, or we hit a depression or a recession over the next 3 to 5 years, I can still sit down for 10 minutes, write a plain text email, send it to my list, and I can generate leads, I can generate referrals, and I can make cash flow instantly. What am I doing here? How have I built my consulting company? I've built my consulting company by taking leads from social media, from offline, online, and I get you the hell off those platforms, and I bring you into my secure world. Well, what's my secure world? My secure world is what I do here daily. My private email list. I email you every day of the year. I shoot a video for you every day of the year. Do you notice how you can watch my video now? You can watch it on YouTube if you choose. Many of my guys want nothing to do with YouTube, so we also have our own private video hosting page where you can watch my daily videos without being on YouTube. So we're ready to be censored, we're ready to be canceled, we're ready for all of that stuff. Nothing will change for me because I focused on building what? My own media. Tucker Carlson he was an employee, and employees get fired, they get replaced, and they get terminated. Now the thing is what does he own as an entertainer? What does he own as an influencer? Does he have an email list of millions and millions of people? Social media isn't going to save him. He's going to have to get another job. Tucker Carlson's going to have to get another high-paying job because I don't think he built lists. He didn't build lists offline. So where does he go, right? One of the things that Andrew Tate did is he always built his email. So Andrew Tate was the number one or near the top influencer in 2022 before he was arrested for all kinds of different things. But what did Tate do? Smart entrepreneur. He built his email list. So Tate is in prison, awaiting, accused of all kinds of horrific crimes. But what did Tate do that nobody else would do? Well, when he was the most Googled man on earth, when he was the top influencer in the world over the last handful of years, he was building what? His email list. So even though he's been in prison for the last 6 months, Andrew Tate, you get an email every day from Andrew Tate if you're on his list. He has a list in the tens of hundreds of millions. So you're not seeing any social media stuff. What you're seeing is a daily email from Andrew Tate. He's literally selling his membership by email from prison. And whether it's one of his employees sending it or not, it doesn't make any difference. He controls that one asset. Tate was banned from YouTube. He was banned from all the social media platforms. But guess what? He had used those platforms to move people to email. So he's not gone. They can ban him, but he's not gone. He has an email list. Same with Trump. When Trump was banned off of Twitter, when he was prosecuted without trial and taken off all these social media platforms, what did Trump have? Trump had a massive email list. He had an email list for fundraising. He has a massive email list that, these are people that support him, give him money, and he emails that list once a week. And even though he's off these social media platforms, and he's back on Twitter, it's amazing. It was like, to the diehards that give him money and support him, he never missed a beat. He was still on television for this or that, but Donald Trump has a $1 million email list. I hear from Trump all the time, asking for money for this, save America, make America great, buy t-shirts. I mean, he's built this channel of email that no matter what happens, he still owns his own media. He doesn't own TV, he doesn't own social media, he owns his email list. So I can't emphasize enough as a small business owner how much of a target you are. Like, you're portrayed and framed by the mainstream media, by politicians and bureaucrats, and by the toxic social media groups. You're framed and portrayed in 2023 as the evil rich. Yes, you, the small business owner. People criticize you. A large majority of the population despises you. Even a small part of the population hates you for being a builder, a creator, a person who hires people. They're jealous of your ambition, of your drive. So you have to understand that you're a target. I've worked with thousands of small business owners and businessmen and entrepreneurs over the last decade, and I could count on two hands how many are 1% rich, and certainly none of them filthy rich. You have a handful of guys that do extremely well, but to portray and frame everybody as filthy rich because they own a small business is one of the crimes of our time. Entrepreneurs and small business owners are being vilified 24 hours a day. If you think you can't be canceled or deplatformed off of social media, you think that your email can't be pulled from you overnight, you're a fool. It doesn't take much. All you have to do is talk about family. All you have to be is be pro God, pro family, pro military, pro America, pro Canada, pro capitalism, pro freedom, any of those triggers, and you could be gone in an instant. I sleep well at night. Regret makes a hard pillow, so I sleep well at night because I know that I'm building my own private email list, which is backed up every day. I know I'm building a mailing list every day, selling my books, and I know I'm building a small fax list of my very best clients. Does not matter what happens with the other medias that I don't own. If I can get if I can use Facebook, if I can use YouTube, pardon me, for a while, then that's great, but that's all gravy, and I don't count on it. I don't build my business on quicksand. I build my businesses on cement. How did I build my barbershop? In 6 years, #1 in the country, didn't have a client, didn't have an email address. First thing I did in the barbershop business, start building and emailing our email list. How did I take my hockey team from the outhouse, last in league attendance, 22nd position, to first, 8 consecutive years? What's the first thing I did? I started creating an email list, and I started emailing the list twice a week. How did I build McLean Insurance from 3.4 million to 17.1 million? I started collecting emails, and I started emailing my list every week. I went from 0 emails to 63,000 emails over 17 years. How do I build my consulting company, the one I'm running now? I started a year and a half ago. I started building my email list, and I send an email to you and a video every day. I'm building my companies on cement pillars. And if you're not doing that, if you're depending on social media, you better think long and hard about what are you building. Are you building a house of cards, or are you building a cement empire? And nothing is more important than your top 3 priorities. Build an email list and email it. That's your #1, #2, and #3 priority. So with all that said, that's the reason why I'm putting so much effort, good morning, into my new Email Millions Mastermind. It's a tiny mastermind of 100 entrepreneurs. You can sign up and get your seat at the table. Emailmillions.coach. And it's what is it? It's a digital email millions mastermind for 100 entrepreneurs. Solo entrepreneurs, small businessmen, guys, gals, entrepreneurs. You can be a jeweler, you could be a consultant, you could be a real estate agent, you could own a restaurant, you could be a 1-person show, you could be a 4-person show, you could be a $30 million company. Email is the honey that brings in the money. Email, like the great Matt Fury says, email is the honey that brings in the money. So if you want to design a machine, an email list that helps you, allows you to make money while you sleep, that's what email does. You write a 10-minute plain text email, you press send, and you make money for the next week. So if you want to learn to make money while you sleep, then go to emailmillions.coach. So what am I going to do? What am I going to provide? I'm going to write your emails for you for the next year. So for the next 52 weeks starting in June, I will write 1 email per week for you to use. You can personalize it, you can tweak it, you can do whatever. But I'm going to do the copywriting for you. I'm going to write my most effective, most successful emails for you that I've used over the last 20 years in the email game. I have a very tight email game that I've developed over 2 decades, and I'm going to be sharing with you every insider secret. But I'm literally going to sit down every week and write a short, plain text email that you can send to your list. All you have to do is change your name. I'm going to tell you the software to use so that you're disconnected from big technology. I'm going to show you how to capture emails, the scripts to use, the bait to use, how you attract and add emails, how you build your list. I'm also going to have a training once a month. You need to have an hour and a half once a month that you can watch or attend a live training. And on those, I'm just going to talk about email and teach you to be able to eventually, if you want, write your own emails a year from now. So I'm going to do one training a month for about 90 minutes, and it'll be recorded. So the big thing for me is I write the emails for you, 52 emails over the next year. Now you get the email every week and you tweak it and you send it to your list. And gradually, if you're starting with nobody, your list gets to 25 people, 50 people, 60 people, whatever. And who's on the list? All your prospects are on the list, all your clients are on the list, all your VIPs are on the list, all your niches are in the list. Everybody's on the list that you want to develop a relationship with. So it really doesn't matter what you're selling. If somebody contacts your business, if somebody calls you, if somebody texts you, if somebody visits your website, you capture their email, their name and their email, and they get added with permission to your list. And then over each week, you start creating a relationship. You start building a relationship with these people with a weekly email. Sometimes you can email twice a week if you want. You can email 7 days a week if you want, but one per week to start is a great beginning. So that's what the program is about. Now, how much does it cost? Well, I was thinking of charging $1,000 a month, and I was thinking maybe $500 a month, because for me to write an email, it's like 10 grand. If you want me to write an email that's going to bring you in hundreds of thousands of dollars, I charge guys $10,000, and I don't do it anymore. So for me to write you an email every week, 52 of them a year, that's a pretty big investment. So I was thinking about $1,000 a month. I was thinking maybe 500, and then I decided, why not help more people? That's my mission. So I dropped the price to $147 for civilians. A civilian is somebody who isn't part of any part of my program. You're an outsider. It's $147 a month. So that's like, I don't know, $35 a week for an email, $35 a week or less. And then I dropped the price again to $97 for my insiders, my brothers, so my newsletter subscribers, my Mastermind members. 97 measly bucks a month. That's less than $25 a week. And when you join this Mastermind, it's monthly, but you can cancel at any time. If it's not your cup of whiskey, I don't care. After a month, you can just send Leanne an email and say, I'm out. No hard feelings. I don't care. I'm not going to change where I live. I'm not going to move back to Canada permanently because you didn't buy my program. And if you're swamped in leads and you're swamped in referrals and you have healthy cash flow in your business, then you don't need this product. You don't need to be part of this Mastermind. If you write your own emails and you send them every week or every day, you don't need this program. It'll be a waste of your time and your money. Now, if you're like me in my businesses when I started out, I didn't have any leads, I didn't have any referrals, and I didn't have any cash flow. I was almost underwater and I was taking a haircut every day. So I needed leads, I needed referrals, and God, I needed cash flow to advertise more. I couldn't pay for flyers and postcards and newsletters. So I needed the honey that brings in the money. So if you're like me and you're struggling with those things, then this program is something to consider. Email millions.coach. And what can you expect as a return on investment? Well, think about it. $25 a week investment, less than that, to send one email. So that email, depending upon the side of your list, is going to generate a handful of leads every week, a handful of referrals, and it's also going to give you some cash flow. It saved my bacon in the insurance business. It saved my bacon in the barbershop business. It saved my bacon in the hockey business. It saved my bacon in the consulting business. So you have to decide, but it's not about the money. $97. So if you sell one thing or two things, you're a positive ROI. So you have the potential to join this Mastermind over the next year, rub shoulders with my champion mastermind guys, some of my world builders, my newsletter subscribers, my book buyers. And every week your list will get a little bit bigger, and every week you'll have more leads, more referrals, and more cash flow. And what you do with the cash flow is up to you. You might want to take a vacation with your wife. You might want to give your, pay down something for your child. Maybe you want to buy a new vehicle. Maybe you want to use some of the money to test radio or television or send monthly newsletters, whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to put a pool in your backyard, but you can't do any of it without cash flow. Look at that sunrise behind me. Isn't that something? The honey that brings in the money allows me the freedom to be out here walking and talking every day. And on most days, that's my reward. That's my one more day from God right there. If that sunrise doesn't say life is a gift, if that sunrise doesn't say there's more than just, it's more than just about you or me, nothing will. What an incredible blessing to look in the rearview mirror here and see that, or walk into that. One more day. I'm given one more day. My eyes open today. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm wealthy. I've got my queen beside me. I've got my precious daughter with me. Our dog Clifford. I've got my legs to walk, my eyes to read, my fingers to write. Man, what else do I need? This is all the tools I need to serve you. That's it. Get up and help other people. Get up and help other people. I've already made my money. Money's important. It's part of the deal. I understand that. The more you pay attention. But man, my job now is to serve 1 million men like you. Get up and help men. So one thing I love about this mastermind is it's affordable to get around. Good morning. It's affordable at $97 a month or $147 a month. Good morning. It's affordable to get around men that you usually would have to pay $30,000 to get around. Like, you're going to be around guys like Bill Gaw, and you're going to be around guys like David Litton, and you're going to be around champions like Stephen Ivanko and Paul Nolte. You're going to be around me for a year. And our world builders as well. Well, normally, to be in my champions mastermind, it's going to cost you $30,000. And to be in my world builders mastermind, it's going to cost you 10 grand. But because you're in this program, and most of those guys are in it already, winners are winners, right? Losers are losers. All of a sudden, you're going to get to spend the next year with these guys. They'll be on the trainings. You'll be able to meet people. You'll be able to create relationships. You'll be able to, learn from their wins and losses. Where else are you going to get that for $25 a week? Where in the world? $25 a week. So if you want to find a way to make $500 a day extra sitting in your boxer shorts at the kitchen table, all you have to do is personalize an email that I already wrote for you. Then go to Email Millions and sign up today. Once I get to 100 men or 100 entrepreneurs, guys and gals, it's closed. And I won't open it until the next year, unless we don't have 100. So you better get your ass in gear, because all my champions signed up, a whole bunch of world builders signed up, and a whole bunch of my newsletter brothers signed up the other night on the call. So it won't be long till the cutoff comes. So emailmillions.com, sign up. We start in June. Can you imagine leads, referrals, and cash flow into your business in 10-15 minutes a week? Let me do the heavy lifting. I love this stuff. Let me do the email writing, and you just press send and deal with the leads and the referrals, and you deal with the cash flow. I'm telling you right now, it's your number one, number two, and number three priority. So make it your number one, number two, and number three priority. And it's inexpensive too. Like to send 2,000 newsletters, or for you to to send 10,000 flyers, or for you to send 25,000 postcards. Man, that takes a lot of work designing them. It takes time, it takes money, and then you never know, how effective it's going to be. So the thing about email is you can do it in 10 minutes. You can press send for almost free, and you can get some instant results. And those results will help you pay for more marketing. Emailmillions.coach. Emailmillions.coach. That's it for today. Just remember, make sure you're building your business on pillars of cement. Make sure you're moving your prospects and clients off of social media, off of big technology, and moving them into media that you own. You own your mailing list. You own your email list. You own your fax list. And that way you can sleep at night knowing you own your own platforms. You own your own media, and you own your own lists. And then no matter what happens, you can always mail your guys, you can always fax your guys, and you can always email your guys. No matter what happens, you've got peace of mind knowing that you own your own media and lists. Nobody's going to pull the carpet out from underneath you, because you're building and you're creating and you're owning your own media and lists. That's how badass millionaires build their companies, on concrete pillars. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that'll change your life. If this has been a help to anybody, make sure you pay it forward. Share these videos with your employees, with your family, with your friends, anybody that needs to hear this message. Make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. It's the only way we can keep this going. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that changed your life. Be relentless.